Hey, what's up everybody? Mr. G back with you once again. How's your weekend going? And I hope you guys all had a wonderful week. So now we are into our first full week of summer, and we are seeing some wet weather finally up across the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes area. We're finally seeing some much needed rainfall, and we're still dealing with that heat down in south across Texas, and we're seeing a little bit of wet weather across parts of the Pacific Northwest and some wet weather moving into the Northeast as well. And there's still our usual severe weather taking place across parts of the plains in the eastern Rockies, and we have the tropical system making its way across the southern Caribbean Sea, Tropical Storm Brett, that is going to continue to threaten the southern Caribbean, Jamaica, Cuba, as well as the Dominican Republic and Haiti. It's not going to make a direct hit. It's going to pass to the south, but we could see some rainfall and a little bit of wind in some of those areas as well. So let's jump into our first map, and this is what we're going to be seeing early next week, Tuesday into Thursday. We're going to continue with that heat dome over the state of Texas, so it's going to continue to be very hot down across the southern plains, and we're finally going to see that triple digit heat move into parts of the desert southwest as well, and some much needed rain will occur across the upper Midwest along the periphery of that ridge of high pressure. So we're going to be seeing transient weather systems that's going to be bringing rounds of heavy and severe thunderstorms across the northern plains and into the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes as well. We're going to be seeing those severe thunderstorms. Beautiful weather across the Pacific Northwest and on the West Coast, and beautiful weather along the East Coast and through the Mid-Atlantic and the Southeast. So that's a good some good weather for them, but it's going to be cooler across the Great Lakes and parts of the Ohio Valley. We're going to be seeing cooler weather and maybe even some smoke to come down from the north because of the fires that are still taking place over Canada. So we're going to see a lot of haze across the Great Lakes and into the Ohio Valley. Now here we are as we talk about those thunderstorms that we're going to be seeing across the Northeast and the eastern U.S. as we move into the upcoming work week. We're going to see showers and thunderstorms along the eastern seaboard as we have a very strong dip in the jet stream. So we're going to be seeing a lot of energy coming down here. So a stationary area of low pressure is going to provide the focus for showers and storms into the Northeast and down across the Mid-Atlantic into the Carolinas. However, on the backside of that low, we're going to see temperatures on the cool side over the Great Lakes, so Michigan and Wisconsin, as well as through parts of Indiana and Illinois as well. A little bit of cooler weather and some haze in the air because that northerly flow can bring down some of that smoke and poor air quality out of Canada. The good news is that you won't have stagnant air, so it's not going to keep things bottled up. But you will see a little bit of haze in the air because of those fires up in Canada. Now, as we talk about your Saturday today, we are looking at some wet weather in the Northeast. We're going to be seeing some showers and thunderstorms in New England down through the I-95 corridor. So Boston down to New York City and D.C. We're going to see some humid conditions and those showers and thunderstorms. But we're going to be seeing it warm to the west over parts of Lake Erie, Lake Huron, Lake Ontario, and the Great Lakes. We're going to be seeing it heat, and we're going to see it hot over the Ohio Valley. So if you're in Illinois and Indiana and parts of Wisconsin and Minnesota, we're going to see it hot as we move through your weekend. Thunderstorms to the west over the upper Midwest, but we're going to be seeing it hot right here through the Ohio Valley and the Illinois Valley as we see our storm system there right along the coastal cities. And as we talk about Sunday, we're going to see very little movement in this storm system. So we're going to keep that area of showers and storms right along I-95 and I-90 here through parts of upstate New York and eastern Pennsylvania. But it's going to be warm and humid over the Great Lakes areas. But we have our second storm system that is affecting the upper Midwest that's going to start to spread rain showers and thunderstorms into the eastern Great Lakes. So Michigan, western Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois and Wisconsin could see some showers and thunderstorms from the storm system that is moving through Minnesota and the Dakotas right now. That system is going to spread to the north and east, and it's going to bring those showers and storms through parts of the Ohio Valley and the eastern Great Lakes. But this storm system along the Atlantic is going to kind of back things up a little bit and create a little bit of congestion. So we're going to see that prolonged period of wet weather into the Northeast and New England. Now we're going to talk about some severe thunderstorms that we're going to see through Saturday afternoon and Saturday night. This is going to be across the upper Midwest. So Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, Illinois, Wisconsin, parts of North Dakota or South Dakota, and parts of eastern Nebraska, northeastern Kansas. We can see a pretty good area of some severe thunderstorms that could produce a few isolated tornadoes, some very large hail, and damaging wind gusts up to about 70 miles an hour. So the Twin Cities, you are also included in that slight risk category for some severe weather this afternoon. And we currently, at this time that I'm making this weather forecast, we have thunderstorms through Minnesota that on the backside, we're seeing those storms weakening. So we're seeing that outflow from those storms as it takes its last gasp as those storms are headed towards the Twin Cities. So we might see 40 to 50 mile an hour wind gusts blow through the Twin Cities later this afternoon as those decaying storms pass through the area. But we are going to be watching things here across the upper Midwest for that potential for severe weather this afternoon and this evening. And then tomorrow we're going to see that threat for severe weather shift to the east into the Great Lakes and the Ohio Valley. So Michigan down through Ohio, Indiana, and through Kentucky, Tennessee, West Virginia, parts of western Pennsylvania, western New York, and maybe if you're in the Toledo, Ohio, Cleveland, Detroit, you're going to see the potential, and as well as Pittsburgh, you can see the potential for some severe thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon, and that's going to bring you some hail, some isolated tornadoes, and the potential for damaging wind gusts up to 70 miles an hour, as well as some torrential downpours. So that is a look at the severe weather across the upper Midwest and near the Great Lakes this weekend. And then on your Sunday, that severe weather threat will move to the east on Monday and Monday night. We're going to see that along the northeast. So the mid-Atlantic, Washington, Virginia Beach, down to Wilmington, Charleston, Charlotte. You're going to see that severe weather, and up to New York City and through New Jersey, Pennsylvania. So Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, you're going to all see the potential for severe weather on your day on Monday. So we're going to be seeing the isolated tornadoes, large hail, damaging wind gusts, and heavy rainfall. Some very heavy rain is going to be possible with some of those stronger thunderstorms along the mid-Atlantic and to the northeast as we head into your Monday. Now let's talk about the heat down across the Alamo State. Texas, we're dealing with some expansive heat, and we're going to be seeing those temperatures, those heat indices, about 120 degrees. Unbelievable. Some near record heat down across southern Texas as we have our high amplitude ridge that's extending northward into the central to northern plains. So that is going to keep that heat bubble down across the south central U.S. and over towards parts of the southwest and down along the Gulf Coast as well. We're going to see that heat and continue dry weather. We're not going to see much in the way of rainfall underneath this very deep or this very strong area of high pressure. Down across the deep south and along the Gulf Coast, we can see that heat. So through Sunday afternoon, we can see those heat indexes up to 110 to 115 degrees out here in Midland, Texas. So we talk about West Texas, Midland, Odessa. We're going to be seeing that this is typically a very hot area, kind of semi-desert area out here across West Texas over to El Paso. That includes the cities of Del Rio, San Angelo. We're going to see that extensive heat, and we're going to also see a lot of that heat down here along the Gulf Coast. So New Orleans, Louisiana, Jackson, Mississippi, East Texas. So Austin, Houston, Corpus Christi, Galveston, we're going to see that potential for that heat to be as much as 115 degrees. This is not the actual air temperature. This is what the air feels like because of the heat and humidity and light wind. So it's gonna feel hotter than what it actually is on the air temperature side. Just like we talk about wind chills in the winter, this is the heat version of that. So we're gonna see what that heat actually feels like in the sun, in the shade. It's going to feel like 115 degrees. Isn't that crazy that it's in the shade? It's still going to feel, oh, I'm sorry, in the sun, but in the shade, it's probably going to feel like about 10 degrees cooler. So you might find a little bit of relief in the shade. But that is a look at the temperature. Again, we're going to see that heat down across the south central U.S., showers and thunderstorms across the southeast as we head into early next week. So showers and storms, Florida, across Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, through the mid-Atlantic states and into the northeast and New England, as well as Ontario, Canada. We're going to see showers and thunderstorms. Now that we have this departing storm system out of the Midwest, we're going to see things a little bit cooler across the upper Great Lakes and through the upper Midwest. So if you're talking about Minnesota, Iowa, North and South Dakota, and Kansas and Nebraska, we're going to see a little bit cooler for a brief period of time before we have that this ridge over Texas slide a little bit further east and north. So we're going to start to see things warm up a little bit later on in the week. But on the West Coast, we have a deep trough across the western U.S., and that's going to keep things a little bit wet and damp across the northern Rockies, the high plains, and through the central Rockies and the Pacific Northwest as well. We're going to see cool and wet conditions. June gloom is going to continue down across Southern California. That morning low clouds and fog and local drizzle in the morning hours. Typically, it breaks up in the afternoon and the sun comes out, but some parts of you are in places like Santa Monica, Santa Barbara, Ventura, maybe Newport Beach or Long Beach, California. Those low clouds will be a little bit more persistent, kind of harder to shake off in the afternoon. So it's going to be kind of chilly down at the beach. You're going to see those temperatures in the 60s right at the water. So it's not going to be ideal beach weather in Southern California as we head into the next week, because that June gloom is going to be quite persistent that we typically see in the month of June. It can be kind of cloudy and gloomy. But if you're further inland, say if you are in Pomona, Riverside, San Bernardino, LA, the Civic Center, or downtown LA, or in the valleys, San Bernardino Valley, San Fernando Valley, San Gabriel Valley, we're going to be talking about maybe a little bit more in the way of sunshine in the afternoon, as those low clouds are going to have an easier time to burn off in the interior portions, and it's going to be a few degrees warmer as well, where if you're in the valleys, you can see those temperatures hit the 80s in Southern California, but remain in the 60s right along the immediate coastline there. As a Southern California native, I can tell you inside and out about the weather down in Southern California. So my trip, my anniversary is coming up. My wife and I have been together for 15 years, and we have our 15th wedding anniversary on the 4th of July. We anticipate, we plan on being in June on a cruise in Alaska, next week. So we will be leaving on Friday, and we will be in a cruise. So I'm very keen on paying attention to the weather in Seattle in particular when we depart. So prayers for a safe trip and suitable weather conditions as well, that we could see lots of wildlife and go check out some whales and the beauty of Alaska. So that is your weather forecast, everybody. My name is Mr. G. As we make our way through this hot and sticky El Nino summer, thank you for joining me. Leave your likes, comments on YouTube and TikTok. This video might be long, so it's going to be 2 parts on TikTok and that 1 part on YouTube. Okay, everybody? Next week, Mr. G has a lot of homework because Mr. G is in school and he's trying to get ahead on some of my homework assignments because I'm going to be gone for 10 days. So I'm going to have limited access to Wi-Fi, so I won't be able to do much homework on the ship. Man, who goes on a cruise to do homework? All right, yeah, your boy does. So, but hopefully I won't have that much to do if I can get it all done before we go. So that's the plan right now. So thank you for chilling with me, everybody. I will see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye.